Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. One thing to park illegally, another to park so neighbors are blocked and vehicles can't use the street properly. To make it worse, they don't give a damn about their neighbors' needs. They deserved parking tickets. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. I called parking enforcement on my neighbors. My neighbors down the street live on over an acre of property with a large driveway and garage and have 4 cars that total to about $450,000. Money and space are not an issue. We live on a tight cul-de-sac and they leave their cars on the street for days, sometimes a week on end. They've had $125,000 cars with no plates towed here in the middle of the night and left one in front of my house for a week. Police finally ticketed that one for abandonment with threat of towing. They've double parked their cars on the street, side by side, for hours during the day. Other neighbor can't put their trash out. Some days I can barely get out of my driveway in my Prius, let alone get our trailer out. They've had a mobile car wash do their cars in front of my house, covering our plants with soap, etc. They've even sat in their car while the trash truck honks at them to move because they're so far into the street he can't make the turn. She refused to move her car, and trash guy had to do like a 9-point turn, almost hitting a mailbox, all the while their driveway sits empty down the street. They're not friendly at all. They actually scare me a little, so I'm afraid to discuss it with them, and my other neighbors already tried. It's all petty crap, so I've just put up with it, but my neighbors are also sick of it, so after 2 years, I called parking enforcement. They'll be getting tickets tonight as it's illegal to leave your cars on the street overnight. Update. They must have gotten tickets because they've had their cars in the driveway for the last 24 hours. I can't remember a day when that's happened. I didn't want to be a jerk, but this morning was so nice being able to just back out of my driveway. I can even get my truck and trailer out when I need to. And our second story. No, you said you had a 14-day return policy. You're going to give me 14 days. Of my 2 jobs, one is as a manager of a retail pet supply store. One of my associates came up to ask me if I can talk to a customer for him who's asking him to do something he knows is not safe for the fish he wants to buy. While I don't know much about the fish department, I know that we're not supposed to sell fish that grow to large sizes to people with fish tanks that are too small. A woman wanted to put 3 fish into a 1.5 gallon fish tank. The rough rule is 1 gallon of water per inch of fish. She would have needed way more than a 1.5 gallon tank. And even then, 2 of the fish she wanted were incompatible with each other and would have fought and killed each other. We managed to talk her into getting 2 fish of the same type pretty quickly. I explained the policy to her, but she was very insistent that she knew what she was talking about and that she just wanted to see if her grandson would take to them before she invested in a larger tank. I eventually relented, even though I knew this probably wasn't a good idea, and I told her, okay, we can sell you these fish, but because we're telling you that the tank you want to put them in is not advisable and not healthy for the fish, we cannot honor our 14-day return policy. She seemed to understand this, but didn't say anything verbally. I wanted my associate, who was somewhat new to the department, to listen to our conversation so he could learn how to handle these situations by himself later, so I decided to repeat myself to the lady, me. All right, so I can only give you 2 days to return the fish. I'm going to have to write it on your receipt that we cannot do anything for you past 2 days. Still no verbal acknowledgement, just a stare. Me. Okay, I just want us all on the same page since we're selling you fish that you're going to put into an environment that we're telling you they will not survive in long term. This voids the return policy. I'll write on the receipt that you have 2 days to return them. Finally, she impatiently nodded and agreed, and we walked over to the registers where she got cashed out. I took the receipt and started writing on it, and she stood reading over my shoulder. Woman, what are you doing? Me, I'm just writing out that I'm giving you 2 days to return the fish. Woman, no, you're going to give me 14 days. All of my what? Me, no, that's not what we agreed upon. You have 2 days to see if your grandson will take to them. Woman, no, you said you had a 14-day return policy. You're going to give me 14 days. Me, I absolutely will not. I'm sorry, but I explained it to you 3 times over at the fish wall that what you're doing goes against our explicit care instructions for the fish you're purchasing. Putting them in a 1.5-gallon fish tank will kill these fish. You agreed to my offer of 2 days, not 3 minutes ago. Woman, you said 14 days. This is ridiculous. You know what? Just give me my money back. I want your name, your store number, and the phone number to your customer service. By the way, why do angry people demand to know your name when you're wearing a name badge? Me. Follow me. And our next story. Well then, I'm going to go have a chat with your manager. I work at a grocery store. I was just finishing my shift with 15 minutes left. I was exhausted from standing in one spot all day, and I'm always thrilled when I'm just about to leave. Anyways, this woman was next in line, and she sets down 3 slices of cake from our bakery. I'll call her Cake Lady or CL. I give her the generic questions. How are you today? Did you find everything all right? Yada, yada. But she interrupts me and leans over the counter to try and look at my register screen. CL, these cakes are all $2 each, right? She couldn't lean over enough to confirm. I look on my screen, and to my dismay, 1 slice of cake is not for $2. Me, I'm sorry, one of the cakes isn't ringing up for that price. Are you sure they were all on sale? CL, yes, there was this big sign, and all 3 cakes had the $2 sale price. To my surprise, CL was being very nice. I told her I'd quickly go look to confirm, and I thought this would be the end of it. When I get to the cake area, there was a big yellow sign over the cooler containing all the cakes that read, "Sale, $2 birthday cake slices, only for vanilla, chocolate, and carrot cake." I cursed under my breath when I noticed that the 1 slice CL had brought up was in fact not on sale. Out of the 10 different types of cake slices we had, only 3 were on sale, and their Mylars were labeled as such along with the big sign. I stroll back up to my register, and she looks over at me with this big smile. She starts to say something along the lines of, "Did you find it?" And I gulp and tell her. Me, "Ma'am, unfortunately, this slice of cake isn't on sale." Her face went from happiness to confusion to rage. CL, "No, they're on sale." "You didn't see the sign?" Me, "Ma'am, there are only 3 types of cakes on sale, and they're all labeled as such. This one isn't one of them. You still want it?" CL, "Yes, but I want it for the price it's labeled." We stare at each other for a couple of seconds in silence. I wanted to laugh, but knowing this woman, it would only escalate the situation. Me, "Like I just explained, this slice of cake isn't on sale. I can't give it to you for that price." CL, "Yes, it is." Me, "No, it isn't. This one wasn't labeled." CL, "Yes, it is." CL and I are both becoming equally frustrated. Me, because it's become more and more obvious that she just wants a more expensive piece of cake by throwing a fit, and CL is mad that I'm not buying into her childlike behavior. CL, "Look, you made all these people wait behind me, so either give it to me or not." Me, "So if you can't have it for $2, you don't want it?" CL, "Of course, but your sign said it was $2, so give it to me now or not." Me, "Okay, then I won't give it to you. That'll be $4. CL face looked at me like she broke a fuse. CL must be used to always acting like a 5-year-old to get what she wants, and she couldn't handle it. She looks at me with a plastered smile and says in an exaggerated happy voice, CL, "Well then, I'm going to have a chat with your manager." Me, "You go do that then." I have 0 patience left for her at that point and turned my back to her and started to ring up the next customer. 2 minutes go by and my supervisor runs into my register area. "Okay, where's this cake this lady's freaking out about?" I hand him the cake and he runs back over to the customer service desk. I knew she was going to get it for free just because our store's so massively customer service oriented. But once my shift's over, I approach the supervisor. Me, "Hey, sorry about that CL. She was super rude and throwing a huge fit." "No, it wasn't your fault. She was crazy and throwing all these complaints at me. I just gave her the cake so she'd get out of here." The ironic part of this story is that the cake that wasn't always on sale was actually labeled wrong anyways. And I was going to tell CL she would be getting it for free because of that alone, but it was much better to watch her have a tantrum over a piece of cake. And our last story. You want me to work for you after you lay me off? Back about 2008, my dad was working for a network company. They provided the backbone for the internet/network for a lot of companies across the U.S. Well, one morning he was working and his boss's boss called him into his office. Not a good sign for sure. Well, he gives the standard "sorry, but we're downsizing" speech. He wasn't happy for sure, but things happen. So he signed the paperwork saying that he no longer works there and he's not allowed to do any sort of work for them. Important later. So he and his now old boss go out to lunch as a goodbye. Boss even told him, half joking, that if he'd known this was coming, he could have taken one of the brand new servers they dropped off at his desk a couple days before. They both laughed, they said goodbye, and went on their way. Well, I should tell you what my dad did there. He managed all their core routers across the U.S., so every bit of data across the network went through them. And he was the only one. So for his entire employment there, he'd always get paged with issues at 3 a.m. So he gets home and starts to relax. Well, about an hour later, he gets a call from his boss's boss. The convo went something like this. Big boss: "Hey, D." Dad: "Hey, BB, what do you need?" Was a bit shorter than he normally would be, but hey, he just got canned. "Well, we have a problem up here." "Oh yeah, what is it?" "Well, you see, no one here has the root master password for the routers. We need you to give it to us." "Oh yeah? Well, according to the paperwork I just signed, I'm not allowed to do any work for you, and that would be work. So tell you what, hire me as a one-time consultant for $10,000, and I'll be more than happy to give it to you." Yeah. Let me get back to you on that." Never heard from them again. For them to get the password, they would have to send out a tech to each router to hook up to it, then reset the password. Can't do it remotely. He got a new job at MCI soon after, for about 5 years until he retired for good. He still laughs at them today. Edit: I'm pretty sure that sooner or later my dad would have given them the password, but I think he wanted to make them worry and regret what they did a bit beforehand. As someone pointed out, I think the years are off by some, so it might have been closer to 2000 than 2008. Yes, he probably should have kept better notes, and he might have, he never told me, but knowing these guys, they deleted his PC/network drive 2 seconds after he walked out the door. Depending on how much equipment they had, might have been cheaper to pay the $10K than to send text to all those locations. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.